New tonight, on the eve of an injunction to revert the state's decision to remove 43 young prisoners from a juvenile facility to an adult prison, we're hearing from one of the inmates who was moved.
As Fox 13's Matthew Smith reports, amid a crisis of overpopulation in youth detention facilities, the move being made to fix the problem are under intense scrutiny.
A lot of people feel betrayed by Green Hills.
For the first time, we're hearing Kaya Lene speak from behind bars.
What is all the work we put in for? It was for nothing. At the end of the day, DCYF was supposed to keep us there, house us, rehabilitate us, and shown that juveniles going to prison doesn't rehabilitate them.
It's a stark contrast from the smiles we saw just 4 weeks ago. That's when the Department of Children, Youth, and Families were celebrating Kaya and 10 other students who had just earned college degrees. But as the population grew behind the walls of Green Hill, the state suddenly sounded an alarm, a crisis in terms of overpopulation within Green Hill. On July 12th, they dropped a bombshell on the counties. They were refusing all new entries. Simply put, the state system was over full. Kaya and 42 other juvenile inmates, residents as the state calls them, became the stopgap fix, moved a week later to make room.
Why should this fall on our shoulders because of the solutions that they could figure out? Why should our rehabilitation, our safety, security, and programming, all that stuff be removed and overlooked just based off of a mistake that they neglected? They neglected to try to find a solution to the overcrowding.
While Kaya is frustrated, lawyers are beside themselves. An injunction was filed, setting the stage for a Friday morning court hearing.
Up to this point, DCYF had been complying with the terms of our settlement agreement, requiring notice, requiring due process before transfers, requiring that the youth themselves, of course, be notified, be able to speak with a lawyer.
That settlement is just 2 years old, and shockingly, DCYF admitted due process was not given, instead saying this time was different because they moved 43 individuals like Kaya over safety concerns.
You're right in that young people did not, there was not due process, individual due process for these transfers. And we noticed the court on Friday afternoon as well that we're in the process of transferring custody and had made the transfer of custody to DOC.
Perhaps most confusing, these moves were based on age, not behavior. We know there have been dozens of prison riots in just the past 2 years. Some of those fights captured on camera and shown right here on Fox 13. In fact, a letter obtained by Fox 13 from a county prosecutor to DCYF's top brass shows that there's a belief that dozens of residents could have been moved after they've been convicted of prison riot charges in recent years. Instead, Kaya, the rest of the graduating class, and 32 others were moved.
So I was just grabbed and handcuffed aggressively by DOC staff and escorted out of the building.
He says there were no answers about what was taking place.
I have not received anything that indicates that there was any level of aggression in removing the majority of individuals from that facility.
No calls to lawyers.
When we assume custody of a person, we don't allow them to make phone calls. There's significant security risks involved.
For Kaya, the only notice came after in the form of a 5-sentence email telling him, please note this decision was made with your safety and well-being in mind.
The law is clear, that the settlement agreement is clear, that the Constitution is clear about the right to due process, and that they flagrantly violated all of those laws.
I feel like we all should have that opportunity to have that hearing and present who we are as a person and talk about our rehabilitation, our accomplishments.
Now, it is worth noting, lawyers tell Fox 13 that one of the students was moved into solitary confinement or protective custody after being jumped at the adult prison. Our team's also been in contact with a number of families on the outside as well, all of them voicing concerns over how this situation played out. In the newsroom, Matthew Smith, Fox 13 News.